Before we get started, to introduce myself, I am Danny. I'm one of the senior account executives here at loveelectric, and I'm joined by Ben. Ben, would you like to say hi to everybody?
Yes, thanks, Danny. I'm Ben. I'm the sales director here at loveelectric. Delighted to be joining Danny. I'll be going through a little bit more about the details of our zero risk guarantee in a few moments' time, but we'll leave it for Danny to kick us off and get us all excited to learn a little bit more.
Thank you, Ben. So get comfortable. Hopefully you've got a nice cup of tea at the ready for a very exciting launch. So starting off with just who are loveelectric. So first and foremost, we are a benefits provider, and you'll be pleased to hear, not a car salesman. We want to be more than a business, and in line with that, loveelectric were born a B Corp and will always remain a B Corp. For those of you who know what B Corp is all about, hopefully this is really reassuring and really exciting. And for those of you who aren't quite sure what B Corp means, it will mean we are a business. However, we want to be more than that and operate more as a social enterprise. B Corp audits each year on how we impact the environment, how we treat our staff, but more importantly, how we treat you and yours. So Ben has to be really nice to me. In line with this, we operate a full transparent pricing policy. What you and your employees see is genuinely what you get. So no nasty lump sums, no hidden fees, and no weighted payments. Everything is just included as standard in our fixed pricing. So you just get the best prices available every single day. We also commit to giving back. We give back 10% of our profits each year to charities who are making a difference. This year, we've donated to Asthma UK and their Clear Air campaign, which of course ties in really nicely with reducing carbon emissions. And finally, we are 100% electric. So we don't compromise by offering combustion vehicles with our service. Or hybrids, we are 100% behind improving the planet. And this will support you with your Scope 3 carbon reduction strategy. And of course, your employees getting the best prices for their EVs, as benefit in kind is still very, very favourable for EVs too. Thanks, Ben. We are very fortunate to receive lots of love for loveelectric. We are one of the UK's fastest growing businesses right now and work with over 1,000 companies nationwide, with over 100,000 employees already with access to our scheme. We're lucky to also have lots of great awards under our belt. We've recently been awarded Best EV Broker of the Year and won an award for innovation for finance and insurance. We're also the highest rated B Corp certified provider on Trustpilot, so hopefully we will see some of your logos on the screen in the not too distant future. And I'll pass over now to Ben for all the details of our zero risk guarantee.
Thank you, Danny. Great introduction to who loveelectric are, why we exist, and hopefully everyone's really excited to learn a little bit more about our zero risk guarantee. To cut straight to it, what is it that we're actually here to offer today for you? Well, we're here to offer ultimate day one protection for your business. Whenever an employer is considering a salary sacrifice scheme, often one of the biggest questions or concerns that we get asked is what happens if the employee leaves the business whilst they have the lease? And this is our answer to that, or our new and improved answer to that question. We're here to provide day one protection for resignation, redundancy, dismissal, and more, which will hopefully give your CFOs, finance officers that reassurance that they need to give the green light to the scheme, as it completely eliminates any sort of unexpected financial penalties from operating the scheme if employees are to terminate their leases early. Hopefully that makes it a little bit easier for you to get it through the business. We also promise quick and simple payouts. We make you whole, reimburse you within 10 days without the need for debt collectors or taking your employees to small claims court, etc., as some competitive products on the market might make you do in order to be eligible for a reimbursement. And in line with Danny's, what Danny mentioned at the start, with us being a B Corp and having complete price transparency in everything we do, this is a completely free bolt-on for you as the employer, which ensures that our already cost-neutral scheme remains cost-neutral for you as the employer, ensuring that there's no impact on your budget. You're not out of pocket a penny for offering this initiative to your employees. Why did we offer, or why did we create the zero risk guarantee? You might be thinking, the employee's driving the car, so why does it matter? Why does the business have to care what happens with the lease? And ultimately, whilst you might see this as an employee benefit or as a sustainability initiative, it probably won't be seen as a company car scheme in your eyes. The reality is that, unfortunately, the business does have to take out the lease initially for the employee to be eligible for the scheme before they make the deductions from the employee's salary. And that's kind of where the salary sacrifice comes in. So it's not as straightforward as the employee taking over the lease. We do have a great service, which you can learn more about, and how we make it really easy for you as the employer to offer. But that's the reality, which means that the business would be on the hook for any termination fees associated with the employee leaving the business. The great news is that that's why our existing early termination protection has proven so popular with the over 1,000 businesses that have decided to love Electric. We've already helped save over hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of early termination fees for our clients. But we wanted to go a step further. We wanted to continue to enhance this proposition. It's been one of the most sought after features, enhancements over the last few years since we started Love Electric, and we're delighted to bring the latest innovation or iteration of our early termination protection to the market, and that is what we're calling our zero risk guarantee, which will hopefully allow you to implement our EV salary sacrifice scheme without any concerns for unexpected financial surprises. This pie chart gives a bit of a summary of a cross-section of our fleet and the reasons for early terminations. You can see that dismissals, redundancies, parental leave, etc., all take up a bit of a portion of our early terminations. However, you'll see that resignation is by far the most common cause for early termination, with about 2/3 of early terminations coming as a result of an employee resigning or leaving the business. That is completely out with the employer's control, and that's why we really wanted to focus in on improving not just the dismissal and the redundancy protection, but mainly the resignation protection, focusing in on that and helping you as the employer if the employee was to decide to move on for whatever reason. As you'll see, our existing early termination protection is already market leading. It's already fantastic. I'm going to give a summary of what that entails and what the difference is that we're offering very soon. But just to give an example of how strong a protection it actually is already, from a cross-section of 1,000 vehicles in our fleet, you'll see that actually about a quarter of those will result in an early return. And from that, you'll see that our existing early termination protection is already 99.7% effective. That would mean, in theory, that you would need 333 cars in your fleet in order for there to be one issue, statistically speaking. So you can see that we've already got a fantastic initiative which will cover you in the vast majority of instances where an early termination should arise. However, we wanted to go that one step further. For some businesses, that 0.3% chance that something might go wrong is just too much of a risk, and has resulted in them maybe deciding not to move forward with EV salary sacrifice. We want to make going electric the most obvious, no-brainer choice for both businesses and their employees, and that's why we've really decided to focus in on that 0.3% with the launch of our zero risk guarantee, where you'll see that because we're bringing down our protection to day one for all of these perils, all these reasons for termination, we're trying to reassure you that we're not going to leave you out of pocket. You're not going to be left out of pocket for those black swan events where an employee might leave at the start of their lease or something unforeseen might arise. So we're really trying to cover any unexpected what ifs for you as the employer to give you that complete peace of mind that you can move forward with this initiative for your employees. To give you a quick recap of our standard early termination protection, how that compares with other providers on the market and what we're offering with our zero risk guarantee. You can see here, we'll set the scene with the legend. You can see that anywhere where there's a heart and a tick on it means that there's already protection from day one. With our standard early termination protection, you can see that as long as the employees had the vehicle for 3 months and they resign, that will be covered under our early termination protection. That is already market leading. Some other providers on the market only cover resignations after 6 months of the lease commencing. So we already have half the deferment period of the next best on the market. We also cover redundancies after 6 months, which is often not covered by other providers of EV salary sacrifice. And it is still a significant portion of early returns, as shown on the previous pie chart. We cover dismissals after 3 months, like we do with resignations, which again is often an exclusion with other providers and their early termination protection equivalents. Already we cover long-term sickness, death by any reason, not just accidental death, but death by any reason, and loss of license on medical grounds from day one, which are often only covered after 6 months of the lease commencing with other providers, or in the case of death, it would only be for accidental death. Morbid, but important to highlight that other providers might not cover things like heart attacks, COVID, suicide, unfortunately, as they are not accidents, whereas with Love Electric, those kind of non-accidental deaths are already covered. We also provide parental leave protection after 6 months of the lease commencing, and that gives your employee the option of taking up to 12 months genuinely rent-free, whilst their pay drops beneath the national minimum wage, and that is genuinely rent-free. It is not double rent when they return. It does not extend the lease by 12 months. They do get to keep the use of the vehicle during that period, and you as the employer are not out of pocket a penny. It is genuinely rent-free, whereas some providers don't offer that installment protection. We give you full gap protection as standard as well, whereas other providers will often cap you to the retail value of the car. God forbid the vehicle was to be written off or stolen. Love Electric will cover you to the full book value of the vehicle with the lease company. Again, as we've mentioned a couple of times, in line with our transparent price policy, there is no hidden cost for this. Other providers will almost force your employees to take accelerated payment structures where they have to pay twice the price of their lease for the first 6 months or year of the lease to get the best prices, but also include the best protection. And also, we don't limit you in terms of the number of terminations that you can have each year, whereas other providers might limit you to, say, 10% of your fleet each year or 10 claims, whichever is fewer. With Love Electric, it's already unlimited. You can see that with our zero risk guarantee, we are only making things better. You can see that resignation is now covered for employers from day one with our zero risk guarantee, whereas it used to be 3 months if you opt to bolt it on. We also cover redundancies and dismissals from day one as well. And we've also reduced the deferment period in parental leave to the protection after 3 months. The logic being that most people should hopefully know that they're pregnant within the first 3 months of being so. So you can see with our zero risk guarantee that we really are trying to cover all bases and make this a complete no-brainer for you by offering this unlimited number of terminations for all of these reasons from day one for you as the employer. With that, I'll hand back to Danny, who's going to share a bit more about how it's built for CFOs and finance teams.
Thank you, Ben. I think something that me and Ben will both agree on, and what we've learned from supporting thousands of businesses with already setting up the scheme, is actually how easy the scheme to run is a no-brainer for HR, the sustainability benefits and a no-brainer for your sustainability teams, and obviously the benefit to employees makes it a no-brainer for your employees. But where some of our clients get a little bit stuck is with their CFOs and their finance teams, just concerned with taking on any risk, although very minimal, and there is a small risk that Ben covered. So though you would have seen with our standard ETP, it's really, really comprehensive. And with our zero risk guarantee, we've just completely eliminated any early termination fees for the employer. So hopefully that will make that approval process a little bit easier for you internally. Obviously, we want to keep it really nice and simple. So if you do need to utilise our zero risk guarantee, we won't let you down. We're here to make the process easy and hassle-free for you as the employer. So you pay out in less than 10 working days. So chasing insurance companies or being put on hold, which is the bane of everyone's life, I think, or waiting up to 90 days, which is the industry average with other providers. We ensure a really simple process. So as Ben mentioned, we don't require you to take your employees to small claims courts or enlist debt collectors against them, which I don't think any of us want to do. So it's a nice hassle-free experience for your team. We maximise the retention benefit to your business through the employee commitment fee. You have full peace of mind with our enhanced gap protection. And if your employees do choose to make the most of our parental leave offering, we pay the insurance and lease cost during the rent-free period. I'm sure you're probably wondering how much this is going to cost the business, but you will be pleased to hear that it's completely free from opting in all the way through to the reimbursement, so it won't cost the business a penny. We simply just included a very small fee into the employee's gross salary deduction, so it keeps the prices really, really attractive for your team and just ensures the business is not out of pocket a penny for opting into our zero risk guarantee for the employer. As Ben mentioned, we already protect over 1,000 companies nationwide, and you'll see on the screen here how simple the early termination process is. It's a nice hassle-free experience for your team. It's not always the nicest experience when you've got an employee leaving, so we don't want to make that any harder, which is why the process is made to be hassle-free for you.
And I would like to pop up this screen and encourage you that if you have any further questions about the service as a whole that we haven't talked about today in detail, as we've been launching our zero risk guarantee, we encourage you to book in a time that suits you best to learn more about our service. You can scan the QR code or you can, I guess that's the main thing to do here. You can sign up for a webinar or you can arrange a one-to-one conversation with one of the team where we can talk you through all of the additional extras with the service, give you a proper demonstration of our web app and how the software actually works for your team on a day-to-day basis. We can go into even more detail on the zero risk guarantee or the early termination protection. We can show you the options that we have for chargers. Danny, let's just say we've done a really, really good job today and somebody wants to see if they're eligible or they just want to get the ball rolling with the service at their company. What should they do?
Again, nice and easy. One step ahead of me there with the chat box. So the first step's an online application. That should take you no longer than 5-10 minutes. So Ben's popped the link in there. It's apply.loveelectric.cars. Very simple, straightforward application process. And we usually hear back within 5 working days. Once we get approval, we send over a supply agreement. And on the day it's signed, your account manager will get in touch. Your link will go live and you'll be ready to place orders.
Sounds simple and straightforward to me, Danny. I don't see any more questions coming through either the chat or the questions box. I can see some people are starting to drop off now, which hopefully means we've answered all their questions. Thank you all so much for joining us today, for hearing us out, for celebrating the launch of our new zero risk guarantee with us. Thank you for all your questions and your engagement. It definitely makes things more fun, at least for us, if not for yourselves. We would love for you to get started with Love Electric. We're delighted to be offering you maximum protection from day one. We commit to offering the lowest prices available through our web app and particularly our reloved or used marketplace. We promise straightforward implementation and management for you as the employer. Scan the QR code to arrange a more deeper one-to-one conversation with us, or to sign up for a webinar where we'll leave some room for a Q&A as well, give a bit more of an overview about the service. If you want to get the ball rolling, apply.loveelectric.cars. If you have specific questions, hello@loveelectric.cars. Danny, it's been a pleasure joining you for the webinar. As always, great to rekindle our comedy duo act again. Would you like to say goodbye to the people?
Yes, thanks everyone for joining. And yeah, like Ben said, any questions, let us know. But we look forward to working with you very soon.
Absolutely. Hopefully see a reason why you should love electric. But for now, take care and have a great afternoon. We'll see you soon.
Bye.